wash my soul in the ocean, in the tears of God, I let it go.
Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising, July 2020. Libra, quite a raucous and exciting time is starting for you. Especially from July, all the planets are activating the angles of your horoscope, which rule the most important areas of life, like relationships, career, personal life, and family. Wow, this is when big changes start to happen. This is when the wheel of fortune, or the cross of fortune, as we call it, starts turning around for you. And things can turn any direction, but definitely very dynamic month, full of activity, full of action. You can't just sit still, because the cardinal positions in your horoscope, the angles, are the ones of action, of initiating new things. So let's start with the first important event. There is an eclipse, last eclipse in your fourth house for the next 9 years. Fourth house is home, family, place of living, property. And this is a full moon eclipse, which means that over the next 3 months, sometime even to the end of the year, because the lunar eclipse lasts for about 6 months influence, it can indicate the ending and the completion of some home project, for example, or completion of a place that you're living in. It might mean you relocate and you leave behind a place that you've been living for a long time. Or it can mean that you are completing a certain phase of your family life, maybe a family member leaving, family member going away, but something changes there, something that is kind of fated, it's not much into your control anymore, and something that you've been thinking about and known about because of this lunar eclipse. It's an eclipse of completions. Also, it can mean for some of you that you might be able to complete and sell a property or a vehicle as well. According to ancient astrology, the fourth house is that over the next 3 to 6 months. But unfortunately, because eclipses often can cause some crisis, it can indicate that there might be some tension or crisis first in the family, in your personal life, connected to property, home, and place. But things are starting to move. They're not going to be the same in that area of your life. Plus, Saturn just came back into your fourth house. I have a whole wheel here, but it's just too heavy to hold. And it moved back into your fourth house, and it will stay there till December. So you have 5 months to complete again. Saturn is for the last time in your fourth house of home and property. So you might have some responsibilities and duties that will still feel a bit heavy till the end of the year, that you're completing, that you're ending, that you're, some lessons connected to your emotional well-being and inner world as well. About working on the past issues from your home and family when you grew up. The fourth house is where you grow up. The fourth house is also the memory, the family memory, the ancestry karma. So it might mean that you have another 4 or 5 months to work on some ancestral karma, or to maybe kind of reconcile or work on a deep psychological, emotional issues that come from your childhood. You might even want to work with a psychologist or with someone who takes care of the soul and who can help you look at the past and reframe it in some way, make order, make sense of it. And, but in the more material manifestation, you might, some heavy responsibility can come for the last time to be completed with a family member. Maybe some difficulty in the life of a mother or father that you're helping them with, or just heavy parental responsibilities, or just some heavy responsibilities connected to moving, to changing place of living, with property, with place of living, but because Saturn is there, things will move a bit slower, but it's, the final result can be once Saturn leaves your fourth house, that you have way more you've created way more organized living environment, way more order and consistency in your personal life as well. And maybe that you've paid off a karmic debt to a parent, or to for example, my husband is Libra rising, and for the last 2-3 years, since Saturn has been in his fourth house, we've been, for example, helping his mom. She's been staying with us. She's been having problems. as well. And he's been having really heavy parental responsibilities. And we're hoping with this last move of Saturn in the 4th house, it can indicate also possibility to move. So such kind of matters can be triggered and can be a lot of focus starting from July. So big changes there till almost till the end of the year. Then another big event is that there are 2 new moons in Cancer in your 10th house. The first one was on June 21st. And that's very rare. It's called blue moons, when there are 2 new moons in the same sign. That happens very rarely. This year it happens in Cancer. And this blue moon, and there is another one on the 20th of July. So it's like you're given 2 opportunities to start something new in regards to your career. You know, so the whole July is under the influence of new moons in Cancer for you in the 10th house of worldly responsibilities, career. The last one in June 21st was more with an eclipse, or feels a bit more fated, maybe a bit more crisis prone in regards to institutions, authority figures, father figures. But the one on the 20th of July is without any eclipse. So the first one in 2 years, new moon in your 10th house of career without any eclipse. It's giving you an opportunity for a brand new beginning there. Some of you can find a new job, start a new project. A new authority or boss figure can come. But Mercury is retrograde in your 10th house till the middle of the month. So there might be some complications still with career, with worldly responsibilities, with authority figures, with institutions. Some delays there that you have to work through. And some papers or documents or negotiations that might be prolonged and take longer. Or you have to wait out on something. Or you have to use 3 times as much of your intellectual abilities and your skills in order to, to work on some career project, to work on, it just requires more effort when a planet is retrograde, to correct, to fix, to edit something in regards to work project or work situation, to reevaluate your career in some way. And then from the middle of July, so from the 12th onwards, Mercury starts moving direct. So it means that from then on, any complications with career projects or authority figures or bosses will become resolved. Any unexpected developments there will smooth out, and your career will start going towards according to its expectations. But you have to be sure that there is a lot of career activity this month. Possibly till the middle, you're expected to work much harder, especially on other projects, to edit, to fix, to correct some mistakes. To learn some lessons there. And then after the 15th, it starts becoming, or maybe a job that you've applied for from before can come back, or a project that you thought about might come back to you for you to work till the middle of the month. But usually, because you have to put 3 times more effort in regards to your career when Mercury is in the 10th house, or with institutions or authority figures, even though it gets complicated and might have been some mini crisis, it means that from the middle of the month till the end of the month, you very likely, if you've put the right efforts, will see 3 times more stronger and stable, lasting results for your social status, for your reputation. So the hard work should pay from the middle of the month onwards, and the complicated delays there should be resolved. So a lot of focus, and at the end of the month, you have an opportunity for new beginnings in your career. With the new moon around the 20th of June after that onwards. So if you want to initiate something new that you've never done in regards to your career or a new project, after the 21st of July onwards, go for it. So you see the first family, then career, and there is this push and pull between planets in your 4th house. They're opposite. 4th house is at the bottom of the horoscope, your foundation, your emotional core, your strength, which is a bit kind of the beginning of the month. It's a bit more stressful because of eclipses, Saturn coming back. So there is this push and pull and need to compromise and find the compromise between your worldly responsibility and family and home responsibility. You might feel like stretched and pulled in each direction. You want to take care of your kids or family, or do something like relocate, whatever, but then you have worldly responsibilities or something connected to, usually it's career, the 10th house, or some goal project of yours, so or authority figure is putting pressure. So that's like this push and pull that you have to find balance on. And then the third really important event, again, is going to influence you till the end of the year. It's Mars moving into your 7th house, guys. It will be there for 6 months. It means Mars from September, October, November goes retrograde, just keeps moving back and forth in this sign. Here it is. You are here, Libra. Mars is here. And it's going to stay there such a long time. The last time you had Mars retrograde in your 7th house was 1988. So a lot of you maybe don't even remember that time. So it's almost like a once in a lifetime. I would call it an opportunity, even though it might be a hard opportunity because Mars is involved, is a bit of a cruel planet. But starting gradually from July, you'll start seeing the themes that you have to work the strongest, and that will become the most potent topic for you for the next 6 months. And that will be relationships. That will be deals and contracts for some of you. And let's see what you have to be careful about. Starting from July, it can mean that your partner gets very busy. If you're married, for example, have a boyfriend, girlfriend, they're very hectic, they're under some pressure, under some deadlines, they can become more irritable, they can become more bossy, or even kind of, just you might feel like you have to walk on eggshells around them. But also because this is your horoscope. So the 7th house is how you feel about others in your life, your partners, business partners, people around you. You can become way more reactive and impatient with people as well, but also attract a lot of people around you now that are just more trigger happy. Basically, they can fly off on the smallest thing. They can get very easily irritable, so to speak. And you can feel even some direct confrontation with others, with partners, business partners, with people that you work in collaboration with one-on-one. And that for some cases, with a peak in September, October, and November, there might be breakup of marriages. There can be breakup of business partnerships and relationships through fighting. It might be like, especially it might be connected to money, because Mars also rules your 2nd house, or resources. But there is volatility in that will start happening gradually from July, with a peak in September, October, November. And relationships that are not, and especially there might be tension between, because Mars will be making squares to Saturn, Jupiter in September, October, between with a partner, because of family, because of place of living, or parents, or family responsibilities, or children responsibility, or parenting responsibility. But, I don't want to scare you, because it can have a good side as well. First of all, Mars will increase your sex drive in the 7th house of intercourse. It's a sexual house. So some of you that might be a good solution to problems in relationship, to sort it out in the bedroom. Of course, you can't sort out in the bedroom problems with business partners or with collaborators, but it can indicate that another positive level is that with someone else who you consider your equal, your peer, or your partner, business partner, contractual relationship, not just personal, you can initiate some project that requires a lot of energy, and it will be a feat of achievement over the next 6 months, with a peak again in the autumn, September, October, November. Over the next 6 months, for some of you, it can indicate that you achieve something amazing and tremendous with a partner. Oh, sorry, my green screen. Oh, okay. That you achieve something that you never had the willpower or the strength or the energy. Actually, the other person will be the driving force. You'll notice that your partner just gets restless or wants you to. It might involve moving for some of you, because you see the 4th house is involved. And it might require a lot of ability to not only organize well, but to sustain under pressure, under stress. And it's best for you, if you don't want Mars to hit your relationships by fighting and arguing and competing and power struggles, or direct, sometimes it's even court cases, Mars in the 7th house retrograde. I hope this is not the one for you, but I'm warning you, in extreme cases, if Mars is making a lot of hard aspects, it can be open war, like a court case of some sort. And the advice is that if you can solve it before that, without reaching to this level, or the other advice is, if you can undertake some really energy requiring and willpower and focused attention requiring activity, with a partner, maybe with your marriage partner. Maybe you pick up working out together. That can be fantastic, to work out this difficult energy of Mars in the 7th house, to use it productively, basically. That anger, to use it productively to change something, because Mars ultimately wants to improve and change things, of course. Or use it to create a business together with someone, to collaborate with someone, create a business, and to achieve some kind of a I remember when I had Mars retrograde in the 7th house, my then partner was really, really pushing me to become a better person. And we were arguing every day. We were fighting every day. I once even slapped him. It's like, can you believe that? I went bonkers. So be careful that you don't kind of lose it. It's not something I would ever do, hit a person, but we were arguing, but he did it out of good. He wanted me to, to do the things in the right way. So the best ways, if you can, try and achieve something of willpower together that requires courage, that requires a lot of energy together with a partner. And by the end of this period, by January 2021, you might have achieved some fantastic results together in a partnership. You might be fighting for someone else as well. That's another manifestation. If you're a lawyer, or if you're fighting for the cause of another person, that's how it can play out as well. Another thing is that your partner might be very stressed, I said that, or accidents, or taking risky activities with partners can come. But I would say it's a good thing to initiate something with another, but be careful, because things will become very heated. It have to be worked and reworked in the autumn months. And by the way, if you want to know a bit more about how Mars retrograde will affect you, especially your business, personal relationship, I'm making my first webinar in 2 years on Mars retrograde. It's on the 1st of July. If you don't catch it live, you can watch the recording. It's $10 off. It's only $39, and you receive 6 months of free transit from my transit calendar, which will show you what transits exactly you have. And we're going to speak about each one of them specifically, and how the Saturn influence. So basically, it's going to be an overview for the next 6 months. Personal predictions. That's what will be on the webinar. You don't need to know astrology. Join me. I'll explain everything. It's super cheap webinar. It's one of the cheapest on the internet, but I want to be back on the game to do solo webinars. So I said, what better planet than Mars? I'm Aries, so my planet. So yeah, my poor husband, I'll be probably getting on his nerves. I'll be pushing, let's move, let's do something. And I'll be working like crazy. I hope that doesn't affect us much, but forewarned is forearmed. And then Eclipse in the 4th house, family. So big changes, guys, with personal life, with relationship. And for some of you, Mars retrograde. Mars entering the 7th house can indicate the start of a new relationship with someone youthful or Aries-like, or someone quite bold, or someone quite, what's that called, ambitious or entrepreneuring. Or someone who gets on your nerves, someone quite sexy and horny. That's another manifestation of Mars. So someone even younger or youthful in spirit. So such kind of people can be around you. But definitely they can be more sexy. Yeah. And last but not least, Venus. Where is Venus? She rules you wherever it goes. This month, Venus is the whole time in Gemini. Moving forward, visible, it's been in Gemini for the last 2 months, but now it's in great condition. So you start feeling like you can do things, and especially if your partner is pushing you and someone else is triggering your buttons. But definitely this Mars in the 7th house will mean someone activates you and puts you into action and triggers you to get things going, or to do business as well, the 7th house. But when you want to escape and have some pleasure and enjoy yourself, Venus will help you. Venus in the 9th house. Maybe a trip to a different state or abroad if you can travel. Maybe an educational course or a crash course. The 9th house is higher knowledge, traveling. Maybe it's reading spiritual materials, or reading astrology, or learning some class and course, expanding your vision, your knowledge, and you'll really enjoy those things, guys, for the next month ahead. Because wherever Venus is what you love, it's you, it's in the 9th house. You can either literally move somewhere far away or travel for a little bit. 9th house is to take a flight somewhere, for example, or go on a journey a bit longer. And if you go, you'd actually quite enjoy it. Or it can indicate just your safe place, your place of pleasure is in more high-minded activities, in cultural activities, the 9th house, in spiritual reading. Maybe you find a teacher that you love, that will inspire you, a mentor. You can find a beautiful mentor, not talking physically, but someone who kind of has very good worldly advice for you, just like Venus is worldly. Maybe you can find someone to follow, someone to inspire you as well, even if you can't travel anywhere, someone online or whatever. Just study with someone for a little bit. And it's a good time for you to kind of look into the future. The 9th house where Venus is about the future, and to birth new visions for your future. And you'll enjoy doing this a lot. It might be a good time for a vision board, for example, as well. And 9th house is, I said, cultural, educational, travel, maybe doing some trade with foreign countries, or even making friends from faraway places, new friends, especially female ones, or ones that you're connected by enjoying and liking the same things, but these are not friends from your immediate environment. These will be new people that you're connected either on the same interests, because it's in Gemini, the same likings, the same philosophical belief system, the same goals, and they'll be from somewhere far away, not someone immediate. And when it comes to love, if you're interested in love, don't forget Mars in the 7th house, but also Venus, just for July, maybe out of state love or out of country love, or with someone very different or more highly educated, talking about loving, studying this month and expanding your horizons, Victor is making a 12-week course on the moon. It's a foundational course. You're going to learn everything about the moon, which is the most important planet in the horoscope, especially for women. It defines your happiness, your well-being, even financial well-being, and how to predict with the moon and using the eclipses. Some eclipses give, some eclipses take. Victor will do that over 12 weeks. Check it out below in the link. And that's about it. Thank you so much. If you'd like to check your own personal transits, I have a transit calendar that is free for 7 days. Always you enter, and every 5 to 7 days ahead you see them for free. It's the only one in the world. It's used by 40,000 people, and you can check out the video after that demonstrates it. Thank you. Enjoy that amazing month.